I'm going to start this morning's practice in this seated straddle setup. So come into this now, and either your hands are going to be back like this because some tightness in your hips and your lower back and your hamstrings puts you here, or you can go forward a little bit. Move around a little bit here. But I do encourage you just to do your very best this morning, especially if you're at home on your own and there's no one really there to hold you accountable. So you just got to really make sure that you don't take any shortcuts and just stick the whole hour out and do your best. Find a spot here now and hold. And this is usually a little bit stuck, this seated setup. It's not generally most people's forte. So if you feel like it is a little bit stuck, then it probably needs a little bit of extra work. All right, so big breath in here. Some air out the mouth. 2 more. Breathe in deep. And exhale. 1 more. And some air out the mouth. Very nice. From here, bring the legs in. We're going to come down onto the back in this kind of setup. Point the toes to the front, reach your arms forward. You want to feel some activation here in your core. So try and really get your shoulders and head up off the ground. And then from here, get the right leg out in front, 45-degree angle, strong leg in the air. Bring the leg back in and swap. Big energy in the leg. And bring the leg back in. Come up a little bit higher if you can. Squeeze your legs together and reach up. You want to feel some action in your core. Let's go 10 more seconds. And again, remember, stick with it. Do your very best. Don't give up, especially when there's no one there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees in. Generate just a bit of a rock so we can come back up to that seated setup. And this time we're in this situation here on your heels with the toes up. And this knee is going to come in just like this without swiveling your chest or your tummy. Pull it back out. Other side. So there's a whole heap of hip opening happening today, because there's a couple of arm balances we're going to do, and they require open hips and hamstrings. So all the base level stuff, all the hip openings, just super relevant for everyone. And then there's going to be a couple of arm balances, and with the hip openings that we do and the hamstring openings we do, sometimes you can get closer to these things than you potentially thought possible. Let's do 1 more each way. Let's hold this one in for a moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, out and swap. And knee comes in, go back to the straddle. And we're working on this because one of the arm balance requires the legs out here wide and straight. So that's why we're getting into this a couple of times. Oof. Go over towards one leg and just hold that. It doesn't matter which way you go because we're about to swap it over. And go, swap over. And back to the middle. As flat as you can. Just 10 seconds here. If you are flat, push your heels into the ground. Try and get your arms off the floor. So you're hovering. 3, 2, 1. Come up. Go back down. Lie down. Second round here, where we left this. Reach your arms forward. The difference here is going to be now to have your arms on the inside of your legs and split your legs out wide so you're in a straddle on your back like this. Point your toes, and here we're going to crunch up for 1, come down, 2, lower, 3, keep going, 4, 5, use the legs reaching out, 6, to help you pull up, 7, so it's a whole body, 8, 9, 10, let's do 10 more because it's Sunday and the standards are so high. Standards are through the roof on a Sunday. totally lost count. 5 more from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Hold for 5. Standards are high. Do not give up and even cut 1 second off the hold. 3, 2, 1, and sit up. So you're in the straddle, and we're in this last visit here. So again, you're either back or forward. Again, you can move around if you know your tight spots. If you get your body in this kind of position, you get some good opening, or somewhere here, or even the back. There's no real right or wrong, but get into a spot here where it's feeling like it's working. Somewhere on the inside, usually, sometimes lower back. Ten seconds. And again, arms out so you're flat as you can. So you're using a bit of legs and core to hold you here, reaching forward. And come up. Very nice. Let's go down one more time. Let's hit this again. So good doing core at the start. Feel it here. Reach forward. Get the right leg out in front like we did before. Leg in. Swap. Leg in. Right leg out. You can either just keep this one here now for a hold, or the left leg goes out in front as well. Point the toes. Back, rock solid, flat on the ground. Reach your arms forward. 10 seconds from here. Now, if it's not difficult enough, take your arms up over your head. Point your toes, squeeze your legs, reach your arms. 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Knees in. Let's go wide this time. Move around a little bit. Couple of circles. Quick bridge also while we're here, just to open up the front after that, and also feel some glute activation. And then I'll consider that a pretty good start. Reach. And come down. Rock and roll again a couple of times. Try and crack your back here a little bit. And we'll come up onto all fours. Going to turn the hands around like this for some wrist and forearm opening. Spread your fingers. Maybe a small little circle action. Around one way and then the other. And pause. Oof, my wrists and forearms so tight. Too many handstands is the problem. Now here, if you want to juice this up some more, you push down even more into your fingers and then have the heel of the hand come up and you bend your elbows a little bit. Oof. This makes it work almost twice as well. 10, let's go 20 seconds actually. 20 seconds here. You push your fingers down a bit more and lift the heel of the hand up. Even try and spread your thumb as well a bit wider. Alrighty, and gently come out of that. Oof. Oh my God. One of these angry cats. Chin in, arms long. Let's even get onto the fingertips now too and get even more rounding. And then hands flat, look up. And back to neutral. Alrighty, downward facing dog. First dog, so good. Love it. Move around a little bit. Bend, straighten. Really, when you bend the knee, really press the toes into the ground. And move around a bit here. So, and you're just trying to get into some of your tight spots. You're trying to use the down dog to get as many openings as you can in your body. That's your starting point here. There's no right or wrong movement. Any line here that you do is going to be the perfect thing. I'm hoping that it feels kind of good, especially when you're in charge of it and you're going around trying to find your tight spots. I can't see any reason why it couldn't be feeling so great. in the kind of way where you just go and tell your friends, oh, you got to come and do some yoga, it's the best. All right, now if you need to just balance out some movement, do that. We'll meet up in the middle of the dog. So just bring your awareness to your hands and your feet and just work out where the weight is. Does it feel like it's even, balanced, weight even between your hands and feet? If it's not, you got to do a knee bend because it'll be, if it's out of whack, it's always front heavy. So just bend your knees a little bit. Have an inhale. Let some air float out your mouth. And walk the hands back to the feet. And have a decent knee bend happening in your legs. Want this first forward fold to just be requiring minimal amount of effort. This is going to also, this will enhance the potential for it to feel good. And also, you just got to be careful with your hamstrings. You got to treat them with respect. We just want to make sure that if we bend the knees, they're going to feel like it's a more safe environment to let go. If you try and jam them straight, they've almost got this automatic response in them that'll make them tighten up even more if they feel like they're going to be damaged by someone silly pushing them too straight when they're not ready. So this knee bend can really help get around that. And it usually just hits a totally different spot too. So you got your feet now at hip width distance apart. We're just going to go now a little bit wider, so little toes on the edge of the mat. Same knee bend. There might be a little bit more freedom to swing the upper body here. And also when you move a little bit from side to side, you just feel it ever so slightly in different spots down the back of your legs. And then one more, go wide again. So your feet are off the mat. And here is this straddle. We already worked on this a couple of times in the seated. Here's the standing version. And just take note, sometimes the standing version is pretty good and the seated one is average. That's why I kind of mentioned that at the start. If the seated one stands out as being average, then you've got to work on it and try and make it as good as the standing version. All right, pause with any movement. Have a nice big juicy breath in. Some air out the mouth. Now turn the toes out, bend your knees, and come to this horse stance kind of set up here. And we're just going to have the hands on the knees and just go straight across from side to side. So there's hopefully just a little bit of quad activation, heat happening, and hopefully also some inner thigh. This is usually pretty doable. No major dramas here. There could be a small amount of thigh burning, but standards are high, so we can totally deal with that for a couple of moments. It's not a huge problem. Let's take the arms out wide now and just see if we can get even more heat happening here, just from side to side. So there's an opening, and yes, there could be some burning here, but that is kind of the point. We want our muscles to just be tested a little bit. So next time we come into this horse stance, they would have done some work on it already, and we can keep it even a little bit longer. Hold the movement now. Let's do 10 more seconds here. Twinkle the fingers a little bit. That will help the time go slightly quicker. 3, 2, 1. Turn the toes in and back down to that wide leg straddle we had. Very good. Bring the feet onto the mat, and you're going to walk the hands out now into a plank. And I want to do this high plank just slightly differently to how it's normally done, because I feel like it's good to change the lines and the angles a little bit. So we're going to take the right hand off the mat, the thumbs just touching the edge of the mat, and then the left hand off the mat. This is called plank with the hands wide. Now push the floor away like we would normally do, pull up your kneecaps. Here, keep pushing, so keep that shoulder chest activation. Just bend the elbow a quarter and push back up to long arms. This time a third of a bend lower, keep the engagement on, push the straight. One more time, halfway down and back up. Keep the hands wide, Keep pushing. Now lower past the quarter, the third, the half to the ground. Oof. Keep the hands there. Let's do a cobra 2 with the hands wide. Inhale up, down, and go down. Shift the hips from side to side. And from there, let's push up onto all fours. Get the right leg out to the side here. Brace with your hands. We've been working on this. Brace. The only thing that moves, you don't rock around and try and shift weight to make this easier. You want all of it coming from your quad and your right outer hip. Pull the foot off the ground. Just watch me. Nothing else moves except my leg. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. If you're doing it right, it's even 1 is hard. If you're shifting weight, my grandmother could do it. Brace with your arms. Pull. 1, 2, 3. You want to feel that outer glute area working. It'll feel like a burning. It could even be cramping if you're lucky. And down. All right, down dog. We're actually going to repeat that movement. Let's do 3. Take the right leg out to the side. 1. Pull. 2. And 3. Ooh, that's a good line there. Other side. Left. 1. You're pulling your foot out and up. Feel the action. 2 and 3. Up. Very nice. Back to the normal kind of dog. Let's have a juicy breath in. Hands go back. Go wide with the feet, little toes on the edge of the mat. Let the head be heavy. Then take the hands through the legs. Just bend the knees to about 90-degree angle. Back to somewhere near straight. Again, bend. Straighten. Let's do 3 more. Bend. Let's do actually 4 more. 5 more. See. Try and get lower each time. Now you take your hands through and just try and keep your head and chest down too so you're flat. 2 more from here. And 1 more. Hold. And back to straight. Alrighty, it's going to walk back out to the plank. Now we'll do this the standard way that we normally do it. Push the floor away. Bend your elbow a quarter. Hold. Back up to straight arms long. This time 1/3 of a bend. Back up to straight arms. Last one. Elbows in. Hold. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Go back up. And lower down. Inhale, cobra. Down. Either repeat it or upward facing dog. Go back down. Shift your hips from side to side. Very nice. Let's go back now to a crouch at the back of the mat. So you're on your toes. You can put your heels down too if that's doable for you, but we'll just start with the crouch because that's usually the most doable for everyone. And if you can put your heels down, totally fine. Don't hold back. Alrighty, pretty good. It's all going very well. Alright, slide the hands out to get into a downward facing dog. This time we'll go forward. Let's have a nice big juicy breath in here. Exhale. Actually, before we go, take up one of your legs in the air. Doesn't matter which one. And use the lift to help you get into the back of the leg you're standing on. You want to feel a nice big opening down the back of that leg. It's a good line you can catch here. And swap the legs. Do enjoy this. Awesome. Back to neutral. Inhale. Step forward lightly to the top of the mat. Feet together. So here, have your hands on the floor, if you can reach, or a block, or the lounge, or a chair. Just something to put some weight in your arms. And then from here, we're just going to lift the left leg out the back behind us. We've been working on this if you've been catching class regularly. It's just a simple one-legged squat. You bend both knees, top of the left foot on the ground, not the knee, and then you go back to straight. So you bend, you catch some strengthening here down the bottom. Then also you catch some one leg forward fold at the top. It's such a great maneuver. Just do a couple more. The right hand can go out to the side. And swap. Bend, top foot touches but not the knee. My left heel stays on the ground. There's 2, 3, 4, 2 more. 6. Forward fold for a second. We're going to come back to that in a moment. And either repeating that or we'll do just the more difficult version. Let's hold this for a sec. Any version, you can have your knees bent, legs straight now if possible. All right, have a breath. And then from here, just come up to the halfway area for a sec, hands on knees. Arms go out wide. Heels off the ground a small amount. And then from here, just slowly, with control, come up to the top. All right, so the optional add-on now for this one-legged squat, just maybe give 1 or 2 a go, and if it's too difficult, go back to the one that we had. In this version, the knee touches the ground, not the foot. So you've got to get down a little bit lower. You've got to try and touch your knee to the ground as lightly as you can. So we did 5 last week, let's do 7 this week. If it's too difficult, put your hands back on the ground and do them the way we just did. So I'm going to take the arms out wide. I'll turn around so you can do it from the side here. And the arms out wide will help. The knee touches lightly, not the foot. There's 1, 2, 7's going to be hard. 3, if you've got your hands in. 4, that's the juiciest version. 5, lightest touch you can. 6, that was a better one from me. 1 more time. 7, 1 more. That was the worst one from me. I need to do 1 more to balance that out. Oh, that was way better. Swap over. Oof, whoa. Is anyone feeling that? Jeez. Other side. 1, that was a good one. You've got to concentrate down the bottom or else the knee plonks to the ground. There's 2. 3, oh, that's a good one. 4, this is my good leg, obviously. 5, 6, 7. Very nice. I've been doing that for the last few weeks. I actually feel like it's getting better, which is what you would expect, with a bit of perseverance and consistency. All right, take your arms out wide, open the front, proud, and then bow forward. Grab the back of the ankles, get yourself in as flat as you can. Have a breath. Great. Put the hands down, step back to the plank. We're going to add on from where we left this. Hands wide again. Get them off the mat wide. Bend elbow a quarter. Straight. A third. Straight. A half. Straight. Hands come into the standard setup. 3 more. A quarter bend. Straight. A third. Half. Go down. Awesome. Up dog cobra. Go down, touch your head, stay low, child's pose for not very long. about 20 seconds here, and then we'll come into the next little bit, which is going to require you to rev up a little bit. We're going to add in some push-ups into the first bit of the flow. Not many, but there'll be a couple there. So the idea is that it's challenging for you, so you've got to like step up and find some new capacity in yourself, challenge your strength, challenge what you're capable of so the body adjusts. I'm going to build on what, if you came last week, we're going to build on what we had last week. So, downward facing dog. Feet together. Take the right leg up in the air with some energy. Step forward to the lunge. Get the right foot on the edge of the mat and get your arms up in the air. Let's tuck the toes under. Reach up. All about the front of the left hip. The front of the back hip. Reach up. Now have a breath. Exhale, take the hands down inside edge of this foot, which was wide. You can either be up here or down low. And now this is more about this front hip we're going after here now. Move around a little bit. You can just have your hands wherever if you went down low. Even up high, just choose your spot. All about the front hip. Some weights in your arms. Okay, pause with any movement. Have a big breath in. Clear out some air. Going to step back to the plank. Here's where you need to rev up. Do whatever you can, but do not take any shortcuts. Hands go wide. Fingers off the mat. Bend, touch your chin and tummy to the ground lightly, and push back up to straight arms. Bring your hands in. Push the floor away and lower. Doesn't matter if you can't go all the way, just make sure it's super difficult, and down dog. So if you're here last week, we just did one of those, and then there's an add-on. But I do believe that the wide hands is nowhere near as hard, not as difficult. So it's like just more like 1.5. Right leg's in the air. Step the foot forward to the lunge. Wide foot. Get your arms up in the air like we had it a second ago. This right hand goes on this right leg. Push down and forward. Lean back. This should juice up. There should be more here than what you just did a second ago on this lunge. This add-on is supposed to make it work even better. So make sure you're feeling some extra. Push down a bit here. Reach back a bit with your left hand. Press the floor away with your left foot. Have a breath. Hands go down inside edge of the foot, either up or down. Maybe get onto the edge of the foot this time. There's no real right or wrong, especially being coming. I highly encourage you to move around and just really work out how you can make this pose hit your spots the best. But the idea is with the hands on the ground, it's lighter so this hip can move. You don't want to be here like, that's really not going to help. All right, have a breath. Rev up. This is about arm strengthening. The idea is that it is difficult. That is why we're doing it. So this time, let's start with the hands narrow. Push the floor away. Keep the push on. Just bend all the way if you can. Push back up. Hands go wide. Here's the easy one. Bend. Touch. Bring the hands back in. Down dog. One more. Right leg. Sweep it up. Big energy in the leg. Step forward. Foot wide. Arms up in the air. Hopefully on this third visit, this feels like it's starting to feel pretty good. This right hand's going to go around the back and grab the outer edge of the left leg. Adds this weird kind of twisty line to it, but feels pretty good. Lots of things going on here. Bit of shoulder as well. Oof, oof, oof. All right, take the right hand back up, maybe lean back some more. Hands to the ground, step back to the plank. Here's the last little set of this. Start wide, push, bend whatever you can with hopefully your chin and tummy touching the ground. Push up, bring the hands in, normal setup, bend, straighten, down, dog with the feet together. And some knee bend will help some weight get out of your arms. We're going to catch that same little flow on the other side, but this will be minus the push-up. So we've kind of done some of the hard work. Left leg up. Step forward lightly, left foot on the edge of the mat, arms up. Hip opener number one on his right side. Oh, this is so good. This is my tight hip. So I just love getting into these things. Feels so good. Couple more moments here. Sometimes some air out the mouth helps decompress in the pose. All right, hands to the floor, either up high or down. Oh. Pause with any movement, have a breath. Step back to the plank. Push the floor away and just commit to feeling the whole range of this lower down so it doesn't get quicker the closer you get to the floor. So we strengthen every line of bend available. Go wide with the feet, little toes on the edge, shift your hips from side to side, and then push up into this floppy back bend. Hopefully requires less effort, especially compared to what we did on the first round with the push-up. So, and then hold. And just go to your knees and then carefully go back to downward facing dog with the feet together and left leg, same left leg up in the air. Feel some good opening in the back of the leg you're standing on. Step forward to the lunge, wide foot, arms up. Get it working, front of left hip, left hand goes down now, push down, reach back. Oh, there's that breath I was talking about. I actually had to totally blow some air out there because this is really working. It's so good when you feel those hip openers just actually forces air out your mouth. Oh, it's so good. And that's when it starts to feel good. When you do a couple of exhales and this starts to let go, oof, then you feel like, I just could be here all day. Okay, hands down, inside edge of the foot. Find your angle. Maybe you're on the edge of the foot this time, like this. Move around. All right, great. Back to the plank. Take pride, lower down. Your whole range is smooth. You're not worried about what angle of bend you have in your elbow because you're strong through the whole range. Feet wide, shift the hips from side to side so you know that your bum and your legs can move, and push up. And you can still move your legs, whether you're down here or up here. It doesn't matter because you haven't jammed your back. They move. Let some air out. Take your awareness to where you're feeling it the most. Sometimes I get some opening in my front here actually, around my hips and my tummy. So good. Hold any movement. Alrighty, down dog, left. Feet together, left leg, last one on this side. Pull it up. Yup. Step forward. Organize the lunge. Again, hopefully by now there's really this sense that this front end front bit here is opening up. Left hand goes around the back. Reach back. Grab the outer edge of the thigh here. Oof. And come down. A couple more moments down inside edge here. On the second visit now, we're going to go turn around to the right for the side lunge. This will be about some inner thigh opening. So come around now, swivel around, and go from side to side. And if you've seen this and you know other versions that are going to help you get a better result out of your inner thigh than this standard version, then go ahead. Use your hands. Position your feet so you definitely feel your inner thighs opening. About 5 more each way. And 2 straight legs. Grab the back of your ankles for a sec, get in as flat as you can. Now come up halfway, you're on your fingertips. Get onto one finger. Take your arms out. And stand up. Turn the right toes to face the right side. Reach your arms out. Take your right hand forward, then down, just below the knees, a good spot. Reach your arm up. Breathe. The triangle. Noelle loves this one. I remember Marty saying this is one of her favorites. Oof. Now here, if you share the weight evenly over both your legs, this hand going forward, not really a problem. But if it's all front heavy here, if this front leg's overworking, it's going to be a big problem. Choose a spot now, 10 seconds, either hand there, whichever one's going to be good for you. As long as it's not a shortcut or I couldn't be bothered, that's no good for anyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yoink, come up and swap. Here we go. This one feels more open to me. Oh, whoa, more open actually. Could this hand just go forward without any major drama? Find a spot now. Let's hold. And come up. Turn the toes in and bow forward. Oof. Very good. Turn back to the front. You're in a lunge. Left foot will be forward. Step back. Lower down. This time I'm going to hit the halfway and hold. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push up. Put the knees down. Child's pose at the back of the mat for a moment, about 20 seconds. And I'm going to use our arms again, just like we did in that half plank in an arm balance. And holding that half plank for that little bit longer is going to make this, hopefully make this arm balance seem more doable, because that half plank, I believe, is more difficult than the actual arm balance itself. Alrighty, here we go. Pop out of this so you're in a crouch. I'm going to come to the crow pose first, and there's an option to go into the one-legged crow. Some people have been sending me these on Instagram. I always like to see people trying these little tricky poses and sending them to me. So if you want to send me some of your good stuff, please do that. So here, the crow, you've got your feet together and your knees out wide. You take your hand, so your knees to your armpits, brace with your arms, a little bit like a half plank, and then try and pop up. Once that's there, brace with the arms some more. Try and kick the right leg back. Bring it in. and swap. Come down, oof, crouch. Oof, when you go from leg to leg, that's no joke. I don't usually do it like that. I usually have a little break and then do the other side. All right, we better move on. Let's get into a down dog. Walk the heels up and down a couple of times. Very good. Let's get the right leg up in the air. Step forward, crescent lunge, power up. Not going to be here this long. I feel like we've done enough here already. Have a breath. Go to the warrior two as you breathe out. From here, we can take the right hand to the ground, outside edge of the foot, left arm forward. Now keep the legs low. Inhale, reverse the warrior, come up. Exhale, come forward, hand to the ground, arm forward. There's one. Inhale up. Exhale, hand to the ground, arm forward. Two, let's do three more. All on the move. Exhale, get low here. Last one. Reach back. Hand down, hold. Maybe that arm goes forward too. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up, turn the right toes in, shorten it up a little bit, reach over. Try and get into this right hip that we just brutalized there a moment ago. All right, let this flow down towards the ground. Yoink. Grab the back of the ankles or calves again. Get yourself as flat as you can. And from here, take the hands behind and get yourself into the seated straddle for a sec. Just want to revisit this one more time too. Either back, go over one leg. Swap over, doesn't matter which one you do. Then find the middle. Hopefully, this is feeling way better than when we started. That's the idea anyway. Hopefully it's feeling way better. Mine's feeling pretty good. It's definitely flatter than it was before at the start. So from here now, grab the back of the ankles or the calves. Actually, we can all do this. Let's all do this because there's something here for everyone. So get yourself as flat as you can. Get the hands out in front, about 10 centimeters out in front. Anyone can do this. From here now, keep your head and your chest down. Anyone can lift their toes up. Get them up as high as you can. Lean forward, push your arms straight. Anyone can do this too. Now it gets tricky. Get onto the point of your toes, lean forward a bit, and pull your feet up into the air. And if you're not up, you're trying to lift them. Just the effort is going to help down the track. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Ooh. If you got up, amazing. I'm proud of you. Turn back to the front. You're in a lunge. Left foot will be forward. Knee down. Come into this nice little thing for a sec. Oh. Left arm straight, lean back. Couple more little things to do. Next up's the arm balance. We've been working towards this whole practice, utilizing the straddle that we've been trying to open up and the hips. Have a breath. So this arm balance combines all the little things we've worked on so far. We've worked on this split, this wide leg, legs out the front straight. We've worked on that a couple of times. We've worked on strengthening the arms in this kind of setup. We've also worked on opening the hips in this kind of setup. So this arm balance called TT Basana can be very doable once you kind of understand the setup of it. So let's have the feet wide, little toes on the edge of the mat. Going to come down here like we did before. Just hit this kind of half squat for a second with the hands through. Then come up, get your index finger and thumb around the heel, and go back down. Push the back of the heel so you can get your head and chest a bit flatter and your arms a bit further up the legs. Come out, take your hands a bit higher up, push there, get yourself as flat as you can. Lower the hips, put your hands down on the ground, keep your head down, walk your feet in, and then shoot the legs out wide. Or just keep your feet in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come out. Oof, last forward fold. Very good. We'll work on that again next week. Last forward fold. Have a breath. Walk the hands out. Let's just go straight to a child's pose from here. Here, 30 seconds, 2 rounds of the tuck handstand coming up. You can either be up here a little bit higher or hands out in front. Settle here for a moment. This tuck handstand process requires grace and finesse. There's nothing wild or crazy about it. I need to be really nicely sharp and aware that you're making each one better than the one before, not just going through the motions and just doing average attempts every time. Average would mean the same attempt, or even maybe something like a little bit less, instead of trying to incrementally improve. Let's have a breath. Come up into a short downward facing dog. Step the feet in. Look forward between your two hands. You can always see the ground. From here, again, anyone can do this. The starting point is just a small little pop. Let's do 10. If you've been coming, you know it. Get up and stay up. You get the first one in and you hold. That's where it's going eventually. If you're somewhere in the middle, use your awareness. By any small degree, improve the airtime. Because we're doing our best, and that means each one's better than the one before. If you're in the tuck, straighten up. Come down. Child's pose. Smile if you did one of the best ones you've ever done. About another 20 seconds here, and this last round we'll just do 5, and we're going to try and better what we just did. Improve it by a small little amount. And it's these little consistent improvements over time that take you from 0 to handstand. Little, consistent, small improvements. All right, here we go. As a little extra bonus to finish, if you've got the handstand happening and you can get up, lower yourself down into the TT Basana, or try lowering yourself down to the TT Basana. Sometimes it's a bit of a tricky one, so you might end up on your bum, but we're going that way anyway, so there'll be totally no loss. 5 attempts. Let's do some good ones to finish and end on an absolute high. When you're ready, bend and pop and try and catch the top and hold it. If you haven't, keep going. Open it from the tuck. Then take the legs out wide. Use the straddle. Try and lower down. Oof. Not too bad. Lower down. Oh, yes. Come down onto your back. Oh, so good. Move your hips around a little bit. All right, let's just do one more thing. Come back into the bridge. We did one of these right at the start. Nice and high the hips go. And stay like this, or hands up near the ears, flat on the ground, push up to the wheel. Breathe. Ten seconds. If you're in bridge, keep your hips up. In wheel, make sure you can breathe smooth. And come down. Let the knees drop to the right. And swap. Hug the knees in. Ooh. Couple little circles here around one way and then the other. Alrighty, good job. Here we go. Let's line this last pose up now. Bit of space between your feet. And when you do your best and you put in some big effort into your practice, it makes all this pose just all the more delicious, all the more sweet, because there's this sense, I earned this time of rest. So shift the feet from side to side. Make sure your legs feel 100% heavy. Do the same with the shoulders. Tuck the chin through in the back of your head. Have a breath. Clear out some air. Nice and long. Two more. Air out the mouth. One more. Settle the breath. Go back to some kind of normal rate of breath. And let's pause and be still. And I'll be quiet for a sec.